Hello and welcome to episode 5 of PR in a Car. I'm Rich Lee from Radioactive PR and the Radioactive Group. Today I'm going to be talking about what it is to start in PR as a young PR person or somebody who wants to break into the industry. This topic actually came from Reddit, the subreddit Public Relations, and Lionheart Louis, the user, and Hancock loved that, I think, are the usernames of the people that said, hey, can you talk about the things you need to know before you work in PR, the things that benefit, the ways in which I can kind of get a jump before starting in the industry. And one of the first things I always tell everybody that's ever asked me that is be open to learning, and more than being open to learning, read everything you can, listen to everything you can, consume everything you can, because as with all knowledge, you pick up the bits you like and you put down the bits you don't. So there's a huge number of resources out there now, and phenomenal people on social media that give their expertise and experiences away for free. And you should absolutely, if you're working in PR, chances are if you're in a subreddit called Public Relations, you're already thinking, who else can I learn from? What else can I pick up? Things like this, and all of the other podcasts available, all of the PR websites. I started PR Examples in 2012 to be a kind of repository for the best PR stunts and campaigns, and just to celebrate creativity within PR and marketing. And the number of times, probably hundreds of times now over the years, I've been told, oh my god, I use that. Even in pitches, I've been sat opposite somebody that's now a good few years into their PR career, and they'll say, I used PR Examples when I was at university as for examples for my case studies, or my coursework, or whatever. Or, even people in bigger agencies that say, when it comes to idea time, we always have a good look at that site. And bear in mind, it's not just me that wrote on it. It was hundreds of contributors. It's now owned by James Herring, and it's called Famous Campaigns. There are 3,000 something posts on there, and it's all searchable, all tagged. So if you, for instance, I go into an interview with a technology PR firm, go on to PR Examples, now famouscampaigns.com, search for or look in the technology category, and you'll find an absolute wealth of recent and older campaigns, just to give yourself that experience, so that when, or that knowledge, so that when interview time somebody says, name some PR campaigns you particularly like, you don't get caught. As a few people have when I've been interviewing, get caught and thinking, there's so much out there, and it's enjoyable as well. That's one of the reasons why I started that site. But it's not just about that. There are plenty of books out there. Again, not just mine, Myths of PR, which I wrote as my intention for Myths of PR was that it was an easy to read kind of distillation of 10 years in PR. That was out a couple of years ago now. So it's not theory laden. It's very not conversational necessarily, but written in a way that I hope is quite easy to pick up and start picking apart. But there are plenty of other books out there as well. I think what is there? I absolutely love Ryan Holiday's first PR book. Mark Bukowski, Fame Formula, fantastic book, gives you a really good insight into the history of PR, and also there's Brand Vandals and plenty of others out there that really give you a good idea of how PR's changing. If you just type in PR books into Amazon or Google, you'll find some fantastic examples, and many of them are quick reads. So absolutely have a look at those. Again, podcasts, follow people on Twitter, Google people to follow in PR on Twitter, and there'll be plenty of lists I know, because I've created some over the years, and there'll be some more up-to-date ones now too, of the kind of luminaries, the people in the industry that like to share. Listen to everything they say and take from it what you will, because there's just, and there are networks out there. I think no matter where you are in the world, there are now networks, whether they are the organisations, so your PRCAs, PRSAs, CIPRs, or just kind of organised groups, so your Facebook pages, there, communities like PR Chat, like Elementi's PR Chat, and things like that. There are plenty out there. That's called Power and Influence, by the way, that chat. And again, there are plenty of PR chats out there. You can always tell, both at interview and in the industry, the people that are really going above and beyond to learn, both before they get into the industry and also when they're in it. And it's reading around as well. It's not just reading PR things. It's reading like reading the drum, being on top of everything that's happening in marketing broadly, and just having that understanding of different techniques and sectors. So Moz is a phenomenal blog, also a great tool, and so moz.com, moz.com, is a great way to look at the intersection of kind of PR and SEO. And something that then leads me to is, secondly, it's not just about being receptive to learning, wanting to learn. It's about coming in with some practical understanding, or at least some theoretical understanding if you haven't had a chance to implement. And that is the link building piece. A lot of agencies now are getting briefs, which means a lot of brands are taking it very seriously, getting briefs to build links for clients. So that means editorially getting links from publications to your client's site. And why would you want to do that? Well, that's what I always ask at interview. Explain to me what you know about SEO and link building. Google rates websites with a high, and especially if that site's well built, kind of architecturally. Google appreciates websites that have lots of links into them, especially if those links are from sites with high domain authorities, and a domain authority is a number between 0 and 100. So a brand new site has a DA of 0, and your BBCs of the world are obviously much higher. BBC, Sky News, the Mail. Not that the Mail ever link, and if they do, it's always a no follow, which brings me on to follow no follow. A follow link, or actually conversely, a no follow tag is a publication tag that basically tells Google's crawler, nah, don't attribute any link equity to this. And there are many different reasons to use it, but what we're after as PR people are follow links. And there was a slight change of a few months ago where Google said, hang on, we might actually use no follow links, UGC links, and promoted links as markers to help a site with its SEO performance. But still, far and away, what we want are follow links. So do some reading around that before you come into interview, or before you speak to a marketing company or a PR agency, or for an in-house PR role, because you're going to want a working understanding of SEO. I remember when I was working at another agency, I took a big, I took a team of people, and I discussed a couple of things. EdRank, as it then was. Well, actually, I think it wasn't even EdRank at that point. So Facebook's algorithm, and why certain content works better than others, and also SEO. And people were incredibly receptive, because it's a consumer PR agency. It's not, you don't learn this stuff from nowhere. I was just fortunate that in my first agency, it was a big part of what we did. And it's not a unique selling point, especially anymore. If you're good at it, it is. But I took a team or a big group and taught them about this. And there was one person that will always stick out, is having said, to be honest, Rich, I don't think I'm geeky enough to care about this. And in that instant, I thought, people are going to jump right over you when it comes to promotions and your career progression, because it's such an important part of PR now. Not now, there'll be PRs listening to this saying, I've never had to worry about it once. That's okay, but it's more and more important as time goes on. And why wouldn't you upskill? Why wouldn't you learn more if you could? So they are the two main things. So education, being just be a sponge. And I know everybody says that, and it's so corny, but be a sponge. Listen to everything you can, read everything you can, consume everything you can. Write as well. That's a point that I didn't make, is right, because it helps you formulate your opinions, and also builds you an audience. So there's there are a good few people in the UK in the last couple of years that, especially because of Richard Bailey, who's I think a former lecturer, but he now runs PR Place, and PR Place is a fantastic site that collates everything going on in and around PR. He ran a PR students kind of hashtag and competition every week, and there were some absolutely brilliant students that came to prominence in the UK PR scene, I guess, for their contributions to that. And a couple of the people in that, I know that they're doing very, very well in their careers, and it just gives you a boost. It gives you a platform, and people want to support others that are trying really hard, and others that you don't need to know it all. You can you can interview PR people. You can write around what, as I said with PR examples, what PR campaigns you particularly like, and that's something that will stand you out. That will help you stand out. So when you're sending your CVs and get in touch, and there's nothing wrong with a creative approach. I don't always advocate it, because it can come across a little bit forced. But if you strike the right balance in a creative approach to getting in touch with an agency, especially if that is an agency that you'll definitely want to work with, it can work fantastically. And obviously I can't tell you what creative approach to take. Everybody is different, every agency is different, but it was a fantastic example years and years ago where Graham at Frank, so he then went to Mank Frank. He did a video CV that hadn't been seen before, but a video CV on YouTube where you could click through to other videos, and it sounds silly, but it was fantastic at the time, and actually still stands up, and you can still Google it. And he got a job off the back of it, and he's been there, years and years now. So yeah, there's plenty out there. Another thing I would say is, on that note, when you get into the industry, don't stop learning. If your boss says, hey, we're going to be pitching for this client in this space, read around, read that client's, read that sector press, get an understanding, learn, think, be open to and receptive to different tools that are out there as well. When I first got into PR, believe it or not, Second Life, which was a virtual world, and it sounds silly now saying it out loud, but which was this kind of massive virtual world that I think it was peak millions of people used, and people genuinely became millionaires through it. Think Sims, but with real life players, as in people playing it, or millions of people playing it and interacting, so chatting, on mics, etc. That was brand new. Oh, not exactly brand new, but that was new when I first came into PR, and I thought, what other agencies have got a presence within Second Life? And I'm not thinking of it from a kind of MMORPG perspective. I'm thinking of it from a promotional perspective for the agency. So, do I have an interest in spending 16 hours a day in Second Life? Hell no. Do I have an interest in being one of the first agencies to build a presence in there that somebody might then think, that's an agency with its finger on the pulse, and or an agency not afraid to try things a little bit differently? That's the agency for me. I was doing that months into being a PR person, as in like a couple, probably even less, a few weeks into being a PR exec. My first agency, I was thinking, what can we do to help us stand out? And I've been noisy ever since. I like doing silly things. Mostly keeps it bloody interesting, doesn't it? So, yeah, reply on Reddit, tweet me, connect on LinkedIn, build your audience. That's another good tip, actually. Build your audience before you, or as you're getting into the industry. Another thing that I would say to PR people, sorry to stick this right at the end, people that want to become PR people, is understand the job, know what day-to-day looks like, and there are enough day-to-day diaries out there that you can kind of find out what day-to-day looks like, or speak to me and I'll happily kind of point you to some. because that's what you're going to be doing. You're going to be writing a lot, you're going to be speaking to journalists a lot, you're going to be creating content, you're going to be coming up with ideas, you're going to be responsible for, or kind of frontline for, a lot of things quite quickly in your career. You're given a lot of responsibility if you can handle it quite quickly. And with all of that, there's yes, the money comes and all of those things if you keep your kind of head down and work hard. But Christ, how old do I sound? What an old man. Jesus. Fuck me. 32. That's what it's come to. Yeah, understand the role and what it looks like coming into it, so nothing's a surprise, because you've got to be good on the phone. You've got to be confident. You've got to be able to. It's not about being extroverted and introverted, as much as I dislike that as a binary description of a human being. But it's not just about being extroverted, because some of the best PR people I know, you could probably say were quite introverted. It's about taking somebody. It's about coming into the industry and being positive and saying, okay, that bit over there, it's not my favourite bit, but I'll work really hard at it. Anyway, thank you very much as ever. To anybody that enjoyed my my little brush with idiocy on Twitter last week, I'm glad you enjoyed it. It's fine. I think a lot of people forget that Twitter isn't real life, and I'm pretty confident there are worse things that happen in life than being made to look like a bloody idiot on Twitter, and it is what it is. So everybody kind of and these things die very, very quickly. So thank you very, very much. I shall speak to you very soon. Goodbye, goodbye. Goodbye, friends.